Hi, I'm Tamara Miles. I'm a productivity expert and the author of the book, The Secret to Peak Productivity. As we transition into the fall with back to school looking so different, work maybe continuing to be virtual or maybe transitioning, and so much uncertainty, I've been thinking a lot about how to maintain and increase productivity. And really, what does productivity really mean in this new landscape? And so this weekend, I was reading an opinion piece in the New York Times by the author Larry Smith, and the piece was called The Pandemic in Six-Word Memoirs. And he highlighted, tens of different six-word memoirs that readers submitted. But there was one that stood out to me. A reader named Sydney Ruman submitted a six-word memoir that simply said, avoiding death, but certainly not living. That one really, really stood out to me because it made me think about the difference. When we're all really trying to avoid death, not only for ourselves, but for those more vulnerable and the ones near us, and trying so hard to eradicate and control the virus, are we also not living? Or could we do both? A lot of my clients have mentioned to me that they just feel drained and really tired, and they don't really know what's going on. They don't feel as able to produce as much as they did before. They're not able to focus. Even in the beginning of quarantine, in the beginning of the crisis, they were, energized and felt like they were still able to get a lot done. And now they're feeling a little bit deflated. And so I ran into this article called Your Surge Capacity is Depleted. It's Why You Feel Awful by Tara Haley. And in this article, she talks about surge capacity as our adaptive systems, both mental and physical adaptive systems that kick in to help get us through crisis, right? And so it makes sense that in the beginning of the crisis, our surge capacities were high and we were able to continue moving through the uncertainty and maintaining a certain level of productivity. But now the crisis has moved from being a crisis to being a chronic situation. And with the uncertainty in no end in sight, maybe we're feeling a little bit discouraged and depleted. And because we don't know when the situation will end, we don't have an end date, even if it was, a long time from now, but if we knew for sure that the situation would be over on X date, we would feel a sense of control. But because that's not the case, we have to look for other ways to maintain a level of energy and productivity through this ongoing crisis. This chronic crisis now. And so what I have found to be the most helpful is to focus on meaning instead of focusing on productivity. So when you can find the meaning behind the things that you're doing, it becomes much easier to feel energized. In a study that I conducted this summer with my colleague Wesley Adams at the University of Pennsylvania, we found that when people can connect their work to a higher purpose, whether it is the organizational mission or whether it is a purpose outside the self, if you can connect to making a difference in somebody's life or helping a colleague or helping somebody else, you can infuse this work with meaning and become much more energized and inspired to get the tasks done. In fact, we found in our research that by focusing on meaning, productivity and engagement, they all increase as an outcome of meaningful work. And so that is one suggestion that I have. The other one is to control the things that you can. Instead of focusing on all the things you can't control, what are the few things that you can? Focus on those things and try to slowly build routines around those things that you can control. You know, another reason why we might feel depleted is that the routines and the life as we knew, we lost that. We have this ambiguous loss of the life we knew, including the routines that helped us feel energized and get things done. And now, because we don't have the same routines in place, we're having to reinvent and recreate routines every day, which saps our energy. And so the more that you can focus on the things you can control and start building a routine, whatever that new routine looks like, it will help conserve energy and make you feel a little bit more in control. So those are the two main tips I have as you transition into the fall: is find meaning, focus on meaning, and create meaning around the work that you have to do, the tasks, the goals, connected to a higher purpose. And the second one is focus on what you can control and create routines around your days so that you can save energy to get the important things done.